Hi, this is Jesse Stay of #GeekGreens. Today I've got this really cool little Jiffy peat set here. It's full of pellets that you fill with water and they grow. And we're going to plant some, get some seedlings started here early fall to get early spring. It's actually not even spring yet. Late winter, I think, is actually where we're at. It's about February, early February right now. But we're going to get some of I'd say kind of late season crops, the crops that you want to get going when it gets warm enough where it's not going to freeze anymore. Get those going here so that we have a nice root system and to have a nice head start with the short summer we have here to allow it to go. So right here, like I said, around February is when you want to start your tomatoes. Peppers are when I'm going to what I'm going to put in here, and a bunch of other things. So anyway, let's get started and I'll show you how these things work. So right here I have the Jiffy seed starter. This is actually the tomato seed starter. It produces you have these little teeny pellets that start in these little trays down here, and then you just fill it with water, and the pellets grow to be pretty big. Right here, this isn't even done, and already pretty big. So it creates these great little peat pellets that just mounds of peat that are great for bigger plants like tomatoes and such, that you want to grow a pretty established root system before you put them in the ground. So this will work really well. Right now it's about February in Utah, so I'm going to let these grow as long as I can until they're completely filled out with roots. I might add some fertilizer in the process. But as I do that, I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing these. So we'll see how much I fill these little peat balls, or whatever you want to call them. And if they do get too full, I'll probably transfer them to a bigger, much bigger pot of some sort, so that they don't die on me. I want to grow them as big as possible before I plant them, and they'll produce a lot more fruit. So I mean, today we're going to be planting. I've got my seeds right here, but I'll. So we've got over here. We've got. I don't know if you can see that, but that says Polish linguiça on it, and then I've got some San Marzano tomatoes. We've got some peppers, some jalapeno peppers, some purple jalapenos, some other various plants that I want to get started early, and hopefully by the time it's warm enough, we'll get all these planted and in the ground, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping we can have a really good harvest, that we can get going early and have a strong root system. So here's kind of how it works. Let me show you how you plant the seeds in these. So the first thing I start doing is I take a little pencil here, and it's just a normal pencil, unsharpened, and I take it and I actually just push just about as far as I want the seeds to go. Give it a little bit of a hole. I go through and I do this with each and every one of them, because it's not always deep enough, the amount of the little dimple that shows up. Take that. There we go. So you kind of have to poke through because they don't open all the way. Make sure you get all of them. And take that. Okay, and then I usually get the remaining peat moss off the pencil just so it's not dirty. Go like that. Okay, now I want my tomatoes, my tomato seeds. Let's start with my Polish linguiça, which I've got a little chart here. looks kind of like this, that I've mapped out my garden. I'm still working on my map, but I do know approximately how many Polish linguiças I want. I know I want 3 Polish linguiças, so I need to put 3 in. I actually use these little things to hold my seeds, so I take this out. And just to save myself time, I like to do about 2 in each, and then I'll thin it out. So 2 in that little hole. Separate the ones that are stuck together. Well, oops. As my friend John Kohler says, no seed left behind. So I'll take, there we go. So don't lose your seeds. Like I almost did, and I got 3 left here. I'll go ahead and use these 3. I might be able to take, if I have extras, I'll take them out and we'll replant the extras and see if they take. And that will allow me to have more that I can give to friends or plant elsewhere in the garden, but we'll see how it goes. So now all I do is in here, let me push this a little closer so it's a little more focused. So I take this part here, and here, I'll pull this out here. So I take this right here and kind of just squeeze it together, and so that the seed's all the way covered, and then put it back in. I can do the same thing with this one here. Just takes a little bit of, apply a little bit of pressure. I like a little pressure on the seeds. If it were bare root and I were putting it in, I'd definitely not want a lot of pressure on it in order to not damage the roots. But for seeds, you want to give them a little bit of work to get out of the soil so that they push more roots down. So I kind of squeeze this in and kind of play with it until you get it in. Okay, so I got these 3, and now what I'll do is I actually have a Google sheet that I use that has every single row on here, and I've marked this one is number 1 via tape that's actually on this side. You can't see it, so that I know whichever way this is oriented, which one is the number 1, and now I'll know which plant is in which section. So really that's all it is, and give it about a week and I should start seeing these sprout sometime sooner. It kind of depends how good they are. My San Marzona tomatoes came in a few days and worked really well. I might actually apply some fertilizer once these get going, just to kind of increase the root growth and get these growing more and keep them growing. But that's it. And give it about, let's see, we're in February. By around May is probably when we'll plant these. Mother's Day is usually the appropriate time, or the week after Mother's Day is the appropriate time to plant tomatoes, at least in Zone 6 where I'm at, assuming we're still Zone 6. It's been a warmer winter. So we might actually plant earlier this year, we'll see. But that's about it. What I will do is I will put this under a grow light. I'll show you that setup sometime soon. But we'll put it under grow lights that go about 12 hours a day. And I might, although I've had success without it lately, these generally need a little bit warmer soil, but this office is a little bit warmer than the rest of the house, so I don't think I need it. But I might add a heat pad. They have little plant heat pads that you can put underneath, and that'll keep the soil nice and warm in order to improve germination and allow the seeds to grow. So we'll see if we need that or not. I'm actually going to give it a try without, and we might have to take a second try if not. You only have so many tries or it starts to grow fungus and mold, and then none of your seeds will germinate. So we'll give this a couple tries, but I'm hoping first try this will take. So anyway, this is Jesse Stay of hashtag GeekGreens.